This is a disclaimer for the broadcast. Remember to be mindful on and off the broadcast. Opinions spoken on the broadcast are solely the speakers and not IDEPIs. Sensitive topics may be covered on the broadcast, including, but not limited to, violence, abuse, suicide, and mental health. This broadcast is meant as a learning opportunity for everyone involved. Thank you, and please enjoy the broadcast.
For me, I believe that psychosocial and emotional abuse can be characterized as the same thing, because it's when a person subjects another person to like anything traumatic that can lead to psychosocial effects such as like depression, anxiety,
Suicide.
like any sort of abuse that can affect a person psychologically should be like an emotional, like should be characterized as an emotional abuse. And I feel like a lot of situations we don't know how often other partners can affect other partners, because like, for example, you can tell a person that you're nothing without me, or like nobody will believe you. Things like that can affect you psychologically. And also physical abuse can also lead to to psychological and emotional abuse, because a lot of physical stuff that happens to you affects you mentally. And another situation that I wanted to add is, people believe that if you're in a relationship with somebody, then that gives you the automatic how do I put this, like you own that other person even physically. So when you and your partner are having sex and the partner says no and you continue having sex with that person, that is considered sexual abuse, and that is considered rape. So even if you are in a relationship with a person and the person does not want to have sex with you, and you still continue coercing that person to have sex, then that is sexual abuse. And people need to understand that that is important. Like, being in a relationship with somebody does not give them 100% control over you or your body.
That's so
Like
powerful.
Fiona was saying, like psychological abuse, or it's like what's it called, when they put things in your head to make you doubt yourself and make you so dependent on them, so you don't feel like you can do anything without them. Or they can like play with your head, gaslight you on things, or even like little things like move things around, like around. Let's say you live together, they can move things around the house to make you think that what's it called, oh, there's something wrong with you, to make it like, because you'll be sure that you put something in one place, but they keep moving it around. So at some point you'll be thinking that you're going insane, like there's something wrong with your brain, and you just can't, what's it called, depend on your own well-being. You can depend on your own judgment. Like those are all included in psychological abuse. And like it's really hard to see when you're in it, but it's a lot easier for people that's what's it called, that's not in the relationship, to like see it. And then you can talk to those people about it, because like those people out here that care about you, like your friends, your family, like they all care about you and they don't want you to see in that situation. And these abusers like to take advantage of your, what's it called, your insecurities and your vulnerabilities. So like when the moment they see that you're vulnerable in one little place, they try to use that to their advantage.
Great. It's so important. I like it.
Just to add one thing, like what I usually tell myself and the friends that are around me is that a relationship should be an addition. A relationship should not take something that you have, like something that you believe in yourself that you have. A relationship should not take that away from you. It should not take away your emotions. It should not invalidate your health. your mental health, your education, your friends, your families, they should not take that away from you. Instead, a relationship should be an addition. They should, on top of everything that you have, they should serve as a good purpose in your life. They shouldn't take anything away from you. So whenever you feel like the person that you're with is taking something away from you, is not making you feel safe, is adding anxiety to yourself, it's making you doubt your decisions, or is telling you, oh, what you're doing is not a good idea, but you yourself believe that it is, then you shouldn't be in that relationship anymore. Always be sure of yourself first. Always be sure of your boundaries. Always be sure that what you want is not what the other person wants.
I just want to add on and say that, yeah, she's right. Before you step into a relationship with someone, you need to make sure that your values, your morals are still going to be your own when you step into that, like they're not going to change. And also that they're not the type of person who will sway you and say, oh, do you think that's a good idea? Like they don't make you rethink your decision, especially when it's a good decision for you, but it might negatively impact them. So that's why they might sway you. So yeah, that's what I think.
I like what you guys are talking, because you're young people and we wouldn't want people to be running through experience, we want the teens to be aware of these things before because they're growing. I mean, they want to see the world, they want to see what is going on. So it's also good when they learn from you, because they can get a word or two, because we still want them to be safe, right? And to be in good relationship when they grow. And then that still get me back to the age, because whatever you're talking here, at least you guys have matured, maybe possibly through experience, possibly through, but them, they are young. So you can imagine, I mean, at 14, if we start dating at 14, or we start dating at 17, 16, are they mature enough to know these things? Because it's more deeper, and that's why I like when the young people discuss, so they can be able to understand. It's so critical. It's really, really so critical.
Also, I want to talk about economic abuse and financial abuse, because those ones abuser usually use that as a way to make sure you can't leave. Like those can include not letting you get a job, not letting you get a credit card, using your money for whatever they want, being in charge of all the household stuff, or even opening like credit cards and bank accounts in your name and using them so that they can get further in life, or then running your credit scores and stuff. Those are all included, and then they're all doing it. They do it all just so you don't have a way to live. Because if you don't have any money, you don't have a good credit score, you don't have credit card, nothing in your name, it's gonna be so much harder for you to leave the situation, because you have nothing to go back on. Especially if because most of the time when abusive relationship, you tend to push the people that you care about away from you, because you don't want them to see you in that situation, and at that point you're alone. And them having that control over you and knowing that you're alone just makes them more powerful, because they know that they're not going to have any consequences to their action, because you're going to be too scared to tell anybody, and you already push away a lot of people in your life.
So I think with consent, there needs to be more and more and more education on what consent is, because I've talked to people and they've told me their own version of consent. For example, a guy could tell me that, oh, if she agreed to come with me to the hotel, that's a yes to if I wanted to engage in sexual activity. So I really think more and more education is needed to the community, and it's also needed to be taught to the people, so they can grow up knowing that consent isn't just verbal yes or no. It could be through body language. It could be through other things, it could be through written, it could be, and okay, maybe let me think of a word. When I'm saying body language, because I think body language, you cannot show body language, but it's like, let's say somebody's hesitant to tell you, to give you a yes, then that should be a clear no for the other partner before engaging themselves in consent. So what I'm boiling down to is just like a education, more and more education, clear meaning of consent, and also teaching young people.
So do we say that like both parties should be in a position to, in case it happens, you can be able to prove that you said yes? Because how do you prove? Sometimes I always say, like, your body language, yes. How? And Miriam last time said that police can be able to determine whether the people said yes or not. But I was like, if I cannot be able to give out like a text message where we had agreed, or a voice, what else? I mean, and basically noting that these things may not happen the same day, it might happen. The accuser might accuse me maybe a week after, or maybe some hours after.
I think like when it comes to consent, what's it called? Is all about communication. You have to communicate with the other person. You have to talk to them. What's it called? Make sure you both understand what's going on. Make sure you're both conscious. Make sure you're both like in a situation where you can make decision for yourself. Like if somebody is drunk, or even like what's it called? Under the influence of drug or alcohol, they can't give consent because they're not in the right state of mind. And at that point, anything, even if they say no, yes, at that moment, it's a no. You should know that that's a no. At that point, you should just leave them alone and then go do something else. Like, don't do anything with that person at that point. And also, I feel like a way that they can tell if someone consent or not is by medical procedure after whatever happened, because the doctors have ways of knowing if something was consensual or not, or like if it was forced, because like those look very different in the medical field, and with the technologies that they have, and then the procedures they have, they can figure it out. But like that's only if they know about it like after the aftermath of it, like immediately after, and or like the day after, they can do the test. They have like a rape kit where they collect evidence on the body and stuff, and then they also do medical procedure to see like what's going on with the victim, and then those can be used as evidence to see if the action was consensual or not.
I think like consent is such an important issue, and it's like the biggest factor that consent leads to. No, that consent is built upon is communication. You need to communicate with the other person whether they are willing to continue with the action that you're doing. And it's very important to seek like actual definite answer from that person, whether like, and if a situation like brings unsurety, and I'm pretty sure you can feel it in your bones, like if somebody is saying yes but their body language is saying no, then don't continue with it, because you don't know the other person what they're thinking. If any action brings about confusion or not a definite yes or no, don't engage in it. And I feel like what I would advise for people, because I know a situation where it happened where two football players in university were served with a rape charge, and the case went on for like 2 years. But then the charges were dropped. They were pleaded not guilty because no, not they were pleaded not guilty, but they were found that they were not guilty because they had a recording of the girl saying that she consented to sex. And when they were asked why they decided to record that, they said it's because their coach always told them that if they are going to engage themselves with such activities, they should always have an evidence, a recording saying that the girl consented to it. So that saved them from a wrong conviction. And for so I would like to tell, even from the males and the females, always have like a certain recording, or always have written consent that the person did consent to that.